and very renowned officer in his regiment. He has had a lot of laurels in his service. Was nominated for college. Thereafter, he was in high defense force. That means he had good range. So when he was done a course under his guidance, a very nice, very uh, very highly qualified instructor of management. He's been a flyer. He's been in defense aviation, and he's commanded a Rush Rifles battalion. So after he has taken retirement from the army, he has founded a company called Leadership Tribe. In defense management, he was teaching leadership, so that's how he has continued his leadership skills of the armed forces. He has established a company called Leadership Tribe, and he himself personally is also official trainer, the singer with the Singapore. Avid reader as a hobby, he reads a lot. I'm sure in the coming writing, right? So today I want to hand over now the mic to him to educate us on success, how to handle failures, and how to convert them to success. So over to you, Balranji, for the session.
Thank you, MP sir. Always great to come back to MS. And MP sir, you and I have had equally form, and it's great. It's a privilege and honor to always be with you and associate myself with you. So, having said that, just welcome all the participants. Having known that this is the in your professional career. And when I say professional career, I mean to say that you are all looking at getting yourself upgraded, upskilled, increasing your capabilities and capacities in looking forward to a possible future and a career in the armed forces. So I wish you all the very best. And you all are in safe hands, of course, with MP sir at the helm. So having said, this is the right to talk because today what I'm going to talk, and I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can I get the hosting rights to share the screen, please?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. So I've got a small little presentation just to make it more visual so that it enables me to highlight certain very key points that I wish to share with all of y'all, because at your stage, your point of life, y'all are at a threshold where y'all are looking forward to a life of uncertainty, a life where you need to create uh, your future. Okay, till now you all have been safe in the environments of your respective homes, your society, your neighborhood, your mohalla, your relatives, your parents, all looking after you. But now you are slowly stepping into a zone where you need to take care of yourself. Okay, you need to create your own future. So one of the things that we need to look into, thank okay, one of the things that we need to look into is how do you failure, because to a large extent we understand failure as something which stops us, something which is undesirable, which is not good, and when we fail, it doesn't leave a very happy memory with us. It doesn't leave us very enabled, and most of the time it is failure which stops us from doing what we want to, and then we start compromising in life, and then we lead a life which is not very fulfilled, not very purposeful. So let's talk about what is failure all about. I have about 30 minutes with me, and then I will give about 10 to 15 minutes for you all to ask me questions, not only based on what I've spoken to you, but apart from that, feel free to ask any questions that you feel is worthwhile and can improve and give you more clarity in the way you look at failure. Yeah, I give you hands up to the moderator to sort those issues out, and and in case there's a question, feel free to put it in the chat window. I will address them in the end. Okay.
The questions will be typed. We'll only take the question at that. Please carry on, Balranji.
Thank you, sir. So let me just share my screen. I've created a small deck just to make it more immersive and help you all understand and assimilate what I'm trying to say. See, the basis of my talk today is actually summarized in this little quote by Bill Cosby. It says, in order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. What drives failure? It's not failure itself. It is the fear associated with failure, which is a problem. Okay. And when we want, and there's always a desire for success. So please look at two things. One is desire and one is fear. Okay. Forget about success and failure. Leave those two alone. But if you look at what you desire and what you fear, what this quote is trying to say is, if your desire for something is more than the fear of getting that thing, okay, that is where success is waiting for you. So do not associate the word success and failure in any way. Success and failure exist. They are part of life. They are part of nature. What we have to deal with is not the success and failure part. We have to deal with what is our desire and what do we fear. Okay, so it's not the part of failure that is a problem for us. It is the fear that is associated with failure that doesn't allow us to the path to success. So what do I mean by that? Okay, gentlemen, look at this little picture here. This is the famous Saragadi battle. Okay, it was almost 150 years ago. I'm sure all of you all have seen it utilized in Akshay Kumar's movie. Okay, uh, and I particularly associate with this picture a lot because one, it's from my regiment, and second, it brings out the ethos of not having any fear of failure. Just to give you a heads up, this is the famous last stand at the post of Saragadi, which is on the present day Afghan border, when 21 Sikhs, valiant Sikhs of the Indian Army, okay, then British Army, who defended a post at Saragadi against almost 10,000 fiercely motivated Afghan troops. And they held this on for more than 48 hours. 21 gallant soldiers, okay, who were all by themselves, they were able to ward off, you know, 10,000 Afghans. And we all know how Afghans are and how they prowess in military combat. But what made these 21 simple soldiers, the senior most was just a Havaldar, the great Havaldar Ishar Singh. Okay, and amongst this 21 was also the Safaiwala, or the person who looks after the hygiene of the post. All of them contributed to this great last stand. When I say last stand, it is defending what is given, which you are responsible for, what you're accountable to, and protecting it against all cost. And why it is one of the greatest battles, because at the end of the day, when they were all martyred for their great show of bravery, they were all given, all 21 of them were given the Indian Order of Merit, which today, in today's parlance, is the Paramvir Chakra or the Victoria Cross. Okay, it was the highest gallantry award given to an Indian soldier of its time. So this is unique, and this is the only instance in military history when all 21 got the highest honor medal for bravery in battle. That itself tells you, and this was given by the Britishers, mind you. So this itself gives you the kind of ethos, the kind of culture that all of y'all are now signing up for, gentlemen. Okay, because what I want to tell you is this is the legacy that we all are part of. This is the legacy that Amas is trying all of y'all to get into, a place, a career where fear is just another human emotion. Okay, and failure is part of the deal. They, if you look at it in a way, they faced a lot of failures throughout the campaign. Okay, the very fact that they came down to 21 is because of a series of failures. But where they were ultimately able to succeed is when they set aside the fear and fiercely defended what they were supposed to do. This is a famous battle of Saragadi, and I can't find a better example to show you how the element of fear can be detached and how failure is just a stepping stone to success. It can't be a better example than this particular uh, event, and I would request you all to read more about the Battle of Saragadi. Okay, having understood that, please understand that you need to be very clear that fear is a learned behavior. Okay, no child is ever born afraid. If you see a child, they're not born afraid. Okay, uh, as per research, okay, let me tell you something very interesting. As per research, every human child is inborn, okay, is naturally gifted by only two fear. Can anyone tell me what it is in the chat window, if it's possible? Okay, okay, I guess okay, fine, I'll say it myself only. Maybe I'll take the interactions little later. We are all born with only two inborn states of fear: fear of height and fear of noise. Okay, you take a little baby and you put them on a table, the baby will crawl to the edge of the table, look down, and go no further. Okay, and if you make a loud noise next to a baby, the baby will start crying. So please understand that these are the only two fear we are born with. Everything else is learnt. Every other fear that we have is learnt. Fear of mathematics is a learnt behavior. Fear of parents is a learnt behavior. Fear of God is a learnt behavior. Okay. Fear of passing exam is a learnt behavior. We are not born with it. So when I say that it's a learnt behavior, please understand, what you learn, you can also unlearn. Okay. So when we say that you learned to fear something, like as a baby, as a child, you saw fire, you didn't know what it was, you went and put your hand there, your hand got burnt. And that is the day, as a little baby or a child, you learned that I will never touch fire, I should fear it. Okay, and depending on the intensity with which you experience that particular event is how you create fear of that event. So I will fear fire because the fire was about to engulf me. But please understand, it's learned. I learned it that day. But then that day does not happen every day. So I can unlearn it also. So what I would request you all to think about is, when you look at your fear, write down your fears, your top 5 fears, and see where did you learn that fear from, and unlearn it. Okay. In fact, a major portion, MP sir and I, who have done the the training in the academy, plus I'm sure there must be a lot more younger aspirants and cadets and young officers who will agree that a large portion of our training in the academy is to unlearn fear, all the fear that we come in. In fact, even when you go for the SSB, what they're seeing is this: are you able to unlearn things? Are you demonstrating that capability of unlearning and quickly relearning? Or are you just stuck to your what you know is true and your learnings? So this is very important to understand, that failure is actually a very, very normal event in a human being's life. Okay. So please go with this, that what are you going to unlearn? Which fear are you going to unlearn today is something I'll leave you with. Okay. Now, while I've also spoken that fear is a learned behavior, I want all of you all to look at this, the law of wasted effort. Okay. This is a law which governs life. Now, what does the law of wasted effort say? Okay. The law of wasted effort is a very fascinating law which governs how animal species have evolved and have survived to the day. Okay. Now, what does the law of wasted effort say? Okay. If you look at the success ratio of an eagle, of a bird, a predator, a top predator in the bird species, okay, you'll be surprised to know that the success ratio of an eagle is 23%. 23%. That means out of every 10 attempts, only 2 attempts are successful. The rest are unsuccessful. Okay. The success ratio of a lioness, okay, a lioness, a top predator, okay, a female lioness is 40%. That is, for every 10 attempts, it is successful only 4 times. Please understand this. Therefore, what the law says is that animals, they are not perturbed by the 60% that they are not able to achieve. when you see a lioness, okay, I'm sure all of you all have seen a lioness, on National Geographic, if not in real hunting. Now, I want to ask you all, how many of you all saw that when a lioness is not able to get the kill, do you see any lioness saying, "Oh, I failed. I don't know what to do. I'm a bad lioness. I can't hunt." Do they give up? They don't. Again, the lioness goes again and hunts. Again, it doesn't get the prey, because the prey is also equally adaptable. Again, do you see any lion or lioness saying, "Oh, I'm a failure. Mujhse nahi hoga. I can't do it"? Have you ever seen animals like that? And when the fifth time, do you see any animal going into depression and saying that I need therapy? मुझे डॉक्टर के पास जाना है क्योंकि I am depressed. Okay, they don't. You know why? Because animals, for them, failure is part of life, part of existence. Okay, because they know that if I don't get, try again. I don't get, try again, and that's it. They just keep trying. And even if they don't succeed, it means nothing to them. It means, oh, I'm going to be hungry, so I need to pray, I need to again hunt again. And when they kill a prey, when they get a prey, for them that is success. Have you ever seen a lioness when they succeed, everyone coming and congratulating them, giving a medal? No. For them, success means living another day with my stomach full. For them, success and failure is equal. Failure means for them, I have to hunt again. Success means I don't need to hunt for 2 more days. That's all. And when it comes to high performance, you will realize the same thing. You are as good as your last success. Okay. The moment you succeed in SSB, you will realize that success is good. People will congratulate you. But then there is another event coming up. That is your training. You have to again go through the entire issue of performing in the training. And once you become an officer, it's successful, but then it is again momentary, because then you step into the army life and there again you need to perform. So please understand that success and failure are two sides of the same coin. And that's what nature is telling us through the law of wasted effort. That is, in your journey in life, you will always encounter success, you will always encounter failure. In fact, what people say is, when you fail, it shows that you are trying. Just imagine if I lie down the whole day, do nothing. I'm just lying down. I say I don't want to do anything. I lie down, I will eat, I will sleep, and I will do nothing. Can a person fail? He can't fail because he's not doing anything. Okay. But consider that if he continues like this for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, what will happen to him physically, mentally, his health? He can't. He will not survive. He'll not go anywhere. So, failure, when you fail, it shows that you have tried. Please understand this. Okay. When you talk about your failures, it means you have done something. That is why you failed. But what matters is, after failure, who are you becoming? That is important, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So please understand that this is how you should look at failure. Failure is a stepping stone to success. You need to fail. What matters is, who are you after you fail? That matters. Okay. If you fail, do you give up? That defines your personality. If you fail, do you learn and you take another step? Again, that defines your personality. So it's not fear of failure which should be dealt with. It is how you deal with failure which defines your character and your personality. People will respect how you overcome failure, how you deal with failure, than you not taking an action just because you fear that failure. So disassociate yourself from the fear of failing. Associate yourself of taking an action and not worrying whether you fail or not, because when you fail, you are taking a one more step towards success. Okay. And therefore, failure is a part of life. If you don't fail, you don't learn. If you don't learn, you will never change. And change is what we all need to go through in order to develop ourselves, both intellectually and as a person in a social environment. So it's very important to understand that failing means that you have tried, you are taking action. Okay, and it's even more important to understand that when you fail, you are learning how to get better, because if you fail in one thing and you learn from your mistakes, that is one way of not doing it. So you're getting closer to success. Okay, and therefore when you go in the core philosophy of military training, in fact any military training that is designed is this. Okay, we want the officer or the cadet to move from a position of from failure to success, and that is why our training is so uh, intensive, so rigorous, because we want people to experience failure. When you experience that, only then you will know how to jump across the chasm and move towards success. This is the core philosophy of any military training. So you need to embrace failure first. You need to understand, you need to experience what it means to fail. And when you experience what it means to fail, it shows that you have tried, you have done it. And once you fail, you learn, you don't quit, and then you take another step. Don't give up, don't quit. And that is when success is waiting for you. Okay. And therefore, just to give you my own story, this is me in the year 1990. Why I'm sharing this is I was very much like y'all. Okay, I hope you can identify me. I was a very young man that time. Okay, almost what 30 plus years ago. Let me tell you about my story. Okay, this is a very important picture for me because this was when we were going for the Republic Day parade, and I wanted a very it was one of my dreams to participate in the Republic Day parade. Okay, and I failed in this camp. I failed. I did well, but I failed to qualify for the Republic Day parade. Okay, I was very disheartened. And then what happened was, uh, because of this particular camp, I did not even attempt my NDA, because I felt that, oh, I can't go to Republic Day as a NCC. How will I go to NDA? And I never gave an attempt. It was only later in life that I realized that, hey, that happened. I don't have to carry it with me all my life. Okay, I didn't go to Republic Day as an NCC cadet. So what? Okay, I had someone who told me this very thing, that they said that, why are you carrying that still with you? It is done. It is in the past. Look ahead. Learn what went wrong, or what was missing in your abilities, so that you didn't go to Republic Day parade. Practice, fulfill those missing areas, fill those missing areas, and try afresh. I thought that made a lot of sense, and that is why I carry it with me, and that is where I realized where I need to focus on. In my case, I had to focus more on physicals, and I was very shy. I used to not speak much. So I started to engage myself in the spoken language, starting to speak, becoming more, comfortable talking to people, and not having reservations and shyness. So these are the two areas I saw that, yeah, these are the two areas I need to focus on. Okay, so I started to develop my physical abilities. I started to run in the morning, and then I also started to talk to more people. Unfortunately, those days we didn't have social media, so it was more organic. I had to speak to people face to face, but I made concerted, deliberate efforts to start getting out of that shyness, that bubble that I was in. That why should I speak? What if people feel that what I'm saying is silly? Won't it be embarrassing? All these thoughts, they were my fear. I had to remove those fears. And I started to speak to more and more people. I started to engage in debates. I started to engage in extempore conversations in college. And in my final year, I applied for IMA, and I cleared my SSB even before I cleared my degree. I wrote my degree on this. I still remember I wrote my degree on the 2nd of May, and I cleared my SSB before that. Okay. All I had to do was get my confidential marks card, which I did, and I joined IMA in June. So This is the lesson that I'm drawing from my life. Okay, this is just one facet that I wish to share, that this is what is important, and we need to very clearly understand when we are trying to associate ourselves with fear. So as far as y'all are concerned, what I would like to tell you is, map what are your fears. Okay, don't try to avoid them, don't try to conceal them, face them, embrace them. Don't be embarrassed about it. Once you write them down, now see what does it take to overcome them. Okay, what actions can you take to overcome them? And that is where you need to practice. You need to practice till the learned fear becomes unlearned fear. You can unlearn it and get over it. And that is how you get closer to your goal. My goal was to don the Indian Army uniform, which I did with great pride. Okay, so failure is certainly, okay, a path to success. And therefore, one of the things that I just want to bring about is this famous poem, which is so close to my heart. It's just a poem, I understand, okay, but the last two parts is extremely important. Invictus, in fact, this poem is almost about 175 years old. This was the poem Nelson Mandela had used to read every day when he was in the prison as a political prisoner. And this was what he said, kept him motivated, inspired all through the 20 odd years that he spent in the prison cell. And what I liked about this poem, and this is something very close to me, is the last two lines. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Please remember this, okay? Your life's remote control is in your hands. You need to control your life. Do not give your life's remote control to other people. Don't allow them to control your life. Always have the remote control of your life in your hands, because you are the master of your fate. You are the one who creates your fate, and you are the captain of your soul. You are going to navigate where your soul desires to go to, nobody else. Okay, and therefore the first thing and the only thing that you need to do before I go into question and answers is, I think I've just finished my time, is to understand that failure is a natural part of improving, being successful. If you have become successful without understanding what is failure, that success is temporary. You've not earned it. You can only earn your success when you've understood what failure is. Now, with that, I've completed, I've taken my time. I've done about 40 minutes. I have another 10 minutes to go. Are there any questions?
Okay, now in case any student, because they have not typed anything, so in case you want to ask, you're welcome to keep your your audio on. In the meantime, while they are typing the class, I'll put some questions which I've got on Instagram. How do I trump over fear of mass communication, like, it is required in SSB, speak in front of others, public speak. How do you overcome
The
that kind of
only way to
fears?
overcome that, sir, is by practicing talking to people. If you think, if it's like this, I just want to, whoever has asked that question, if you're listening to me, how did you learn to cycle? Can you start cycling thinking about cycling? Oh, I will buy a cycle, I will cycle every day, or dreaming every day, or feeling motivated of cycling every day. Can a person cycle? And the first time you sit on a cycle, can you start cycling? You cannot. You need to cycle, you will fall. You get up, again you start cycling, again you will fall, again you get up, again you will fall. And one day it happens. Okay. Similarly, if you want to get over the fear of talking to a lot, like public speaking or mass communication, practice that. You will not get it. You'll feel shy the first day. People will not listen to you. Again, don't give up. Just like the way you learn cycling. You cannot learn to be a public speaker or communicate to the masses if you just think about it. You need to do it. You need to practice it. So practice till muscle memory kicks in, and then it becomes natural. It'll happen one day, just like that.
Right. Absolutely. So for whatever you are fearing, so basically you are saying if you're fearing something, take the plunge into it, and
Absolutely, sir.
by virtue of practice, you will overcome that fear.
Yes.
Absolutely right. One more question is that one or two remarks, sir. I want to salute you. Very good remarks are coming, Babu, for you.
Thank you, sir. Let's hear some. I
They are
would like
saying
to.
about one question is about yeah. I'm also giving this question from Instagram Live. So, what about the fear of SSB failure? Now, that is what they are more concerned, especially this batch.
Okay. Whenever you try, sir, again, it's very simple. Okay. Something which is in the future, which has not happened, there's no point fearing it. And even if you fear it, it's a 50% chance. Whenever you're going for SSB, there's a 50% chance you will fail. There's a 50% chance you will succeed. Correct? Okay. So why do we make that 50% failure 100% and worry about it? Why can't we do it the other way around? Think of succeeding 100%, but we will not do that. Okay, because fear is something we are comfortable with. Okay, and success is something we are not comfortable with. So please understand that fear of passing an SSB is not real. It's just a fear because the SSB is not happened yet. And the more you associate the fear, the more it will stop you from being who you really are. So if you keep fearing, let me give you this example. If you keep fearing that, oh, what will happen to SSB? What will happen to SSB? What kind of a person is sitting in front of the interviewing officer that day? Who do you think the interviewing officer is going to see? He is going to see a person who is already decided that I'm going to fail this exam. He can sense that. But if you say, no, I will make it and do everything it takes and be hopeful, be energized, be inspired, and then go and sit in front of the interviewing officer, what is he going to see? He is going to see someone who's motivated, inspired, wants to succeed. So it's up to you. What do you want to choose?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Read my note 5. I mean, you raised your hand. Is it to ask a question or it was just raised by mistake? Right. Anybody else wants to ask anything to Babu sir? Well, Babu, again, not from the present class. I think they are too new to this platform. If I had invited you at the end of the 3 weeks, half of them would have asked a question, I'm sure.
That's okay, sir. But what I
there is
want
another
to,
question.
yeah,
There's one more question.
Okay.
What do we do when our seniors suppress us? And you start getting scared of seniors?
Yeah, so when you get scared of seniors, consider that the fear is coming from the fact that we are considering them to be something bigger than us, right? The senior part is coming on to us. Why is that coming? Where is that coming from? You need to do an examination there. Okay, and if they are inhibiting you, there are two things you can do: either accept that's the reality and move on, or stop considering them to be your senior because they're not going to do anything good to you anyway. Okay, why are you considering them to be a senior? Because a senior is supposed to guide you, not stop you. So you have a choice there. Okay, but easier said than done. But the only thing I want to say is take it in your stride as a great learning of how not to be a senior, so that when you become a senior, you are not exactly that person to your juniors. I think there's a great lesson there. So when a senior is angry, when they are difficult, it's a great lesson how not to be a senior. Okay, so that's what you need to learn.
Yeah. Okay, Shubham Kumar Jha, you raise your hand. You would like to ask something?
Yes, sir. I have a question. You have told that there is a natural born fear for someone. The first one is of heights, and there is also the second one. I'm asking you, sir, that is it possible that we can overcome that fear also?
No, it is not, because if you overcome that, you are surely going to perish. Okay, because this is our instinct for survival, Shubham. Just imagine if you don't have the fear of height and the fear of noise, we will become, creatures who will not sense danger. So what I want to say is, don't be absolutely, you shouldn't be foolish also. Nature has given us certain defense mechanisms to live, to survive. And these are the two issues that you need to survive with. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So
Thank you,
it is
sir.
good to have, it is good to be scared.
Suddenly, you
it
would
keeps
find
you alive.
somebody jumping off from 5th floor or 6th floor, thinking I'm going to fly.
Yeah.
Falls and he is no more.
Exactly.
So that is the reason this fear should be there all the time. Only
All the
thing
time.
is, I think,
Yes, it is.
Rajiv, like when I was posted in infantry school at Balgaon, that fear of height or the commando course,
Yes, sir.
that goes by practice.
Yes.
And by seeing that, okay, there are safety mechanism, I'm not going to fall on the ground, I'm going to fall into the swimming pool. And there's a technique of falling which will not hurt me. So when you do that, then the fear is overcome.
Exactly, sir.
Again, the same thing what sir was saying, practice.
No fear can be removed without practice, sir. By thinking, it will not go. Yeah, someone had asked some questions. Someone had asked, I heard someone asking. Anybody? Okay, fine, sir.
Any other question, anyone?
Yes,
so, I would just
Saurabh.
request you for your...
I think Saurabh is asked. Last question I'll take.
Yes, yeah, I have one doubt. Sir, there are many myths which even suppresses our fear more and which hampers our performance in the SSB. Sir, like one of the myth which is widespread is that if you get the, Allahabad center, then you are surely, out of the SSB. So this even makes more pressure in us. So
yeah, Saurabh.
This I can answer this. I've been in Allahabad for 6 years.
I'm also Allahabad.
Center only.
I am Allahabad.
You see, he's Allahabad pass out. He's an Allahabad selected candidate, and I'm an Allahabad assessor. Okay, so that fear is wrong, and I'll tell you the genesis of this fear is because Allahabad had 5 SSBs compared to Bhopal with 2 SSBs, Army SSBs, and Bangalore with 2 SSBs. Now 50% of the applications would go to Allahabad. Now 50% of application actually it came out to 1,24,000 in a year. That means 1,24,000 candidates are being called. So even if our pass percentage of SSB is about 10%, let's say a very round figure. So out of 1,24,000, about 1,10,000 are getting rejected from Allahabad. Now compare this figure to Bhopal and Bangalore. So figures are very less because the applications going there were less, right? So applications going in Bhopal were about 30,000 and in a year, and going to Bangalore were 25,000. So obviously वहाँ भी वही rate pass percentage था, but वहाँ पे number कम था. तो यहाँ पे रोने वाले ज़्यादा थे इलाहाबाद से because 90% anyway getting rejected in all the places. So that's why it got termed as
rejection center.
Otherwise, it is nothing like that. Yeah.
Yes,
otherwise it is not there.
More boards there for the candidates who are going are more, and but still their selection rate is the same. So that's why.
Yeah, but you have to decide for yourself, Saurabh. Are you going to listen? Are you going to listen to those people, or are you going to, do this journey by yourself? At the end of the day, you have to take that call. बोलने के लिए बहुत लोग हैं, they will keep saying everything, and generally these are told by people who've not made it.
Yes, sir.
So whose advice do you want to take? It's up to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Most welcome. Any other question? I think MP sir has got logged out. He'll come back in. But in that space,
and the
yes.
session, Ranjit, thank you so much for joining us. And it's always a pleasure to listen to you. And I have made my notes. I don't know about others, but my this thing is completely full by points which you have given, and I'm going to certainly utilize some of them in my life to move ahead. So I always take lessons. Even when you were the instructor at SDMC, and even now. So once again, I would like to convey my thanks from our team of AMAS, and we look forward to joining us in future also with your such nice talks and such motivating lectures. So anything would you like to end with?
Yes, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I just want to tell the new joinees that you are in the best hands possible. I've known MP sir for a long time. He's a person who does more like we reflect each other because we do work with heart. We do work with to share our lives, and you can't get a better person than Colonel MP Singh to help you in this journey. So I wish you all the very best. Make the most out of what sir can give to you, and hope that maximum number of you all are on the other side giving talks like this very soon in life. With that, thank you, sir, and all the very best, all participants. And if it's okay, can I log out? Would it be okay?
Thank you so much, and you can log off. We'll continue with our
Yeah.
rest of